You're watching Through the Looking Glass with Dr. Ginny Klein.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ginny Klein, and I've missed you, so I'm back with a new show for us all. It's about our feelings, fears, and fantasies, our pain and our pleasure, our problems and our solutions. It's time for us to get together, talk things over, think things over, and find out that we are not alone. Perhaps then we can all help each other make this world and our lives just a little bit better. Did you ever wonder that no matter what you do for folks, they complain and it makes you feel very, very sad? Every time I think about that, I like to look away, and that's why I just did. Because no matter what you do, it's never good enough. Let's take a closer look at that. Regina, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Klein. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I've been better.
Why is that?
I've just been noticing lately, feel like I'm simmering all the time. I feel like simmering's an understatement. I feel like there's something simmering underneath all the time. And I'm feeling very, very angry, I think.
Did you ever make eggs?
Yeah, I do. I love eggs.
And you know when it starts to simmer, then it starts to boil?
Yes. I feel like I'm
That's
burnt.
that anger that we hold inside that's
Yes.
starting to...
And I've just noticed, one of my relatives, I'm helping them move, and...
How nice.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice thing to do. It's become like a problem because I'm not doing it the way they want. They're not doing the calls they want. And I don't know why, but I take everything they're saying feels like they're criticizing me.
They
And
are.
I'm very annoyed about it.
Well,
So here I'm doing what I think's like a good deed, if you will.
yeah,
I don't have to do it.
they're complaining.
They're complaining. Went to my relative's house over the weekend, and I was so excited to be able to travel out, although it is, it's a long distance for me to do, and I hate night driving.
Are those your relatives you're helping to move?
No, these are other relatives.
Other relatives.
That I was just excited to see.
Mhm.
I was doing the driving, and I know that it was something that they were looking forward to, but within the context of conversation, I'm hearing about how much work it is for them to have people over another day, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm traveling to you. You don't have to do anything but open the door. You don't have to feed me. You don't have to entertain me. You just have to open the door because I'm so excited to visit you. And I'm like, it annoyed me to the point where I almost thought about not going. It's like I have no patience for this anymore.
Well, people don't have very much consideration for the effect of what they say on someone else. They're thinking only about what they're thinking. And it's really insulting.
It feels insulting.
Yeah.
And then it feels like I want to insult them back. I want to say to them something I won't say because it's not nice. But I'm just so tired of it, and I find myself losing my patience. Instead of just ignoring it and moving on and achieving the objective, which I used to think I had more ability to do that.
Well, you took a lot more in, and the anger that you felt was repressed, and it formed a big pile, like a geyser ready to blow. And that's the bubbles you feel on top. That's the boiling.
It is.
Because
the other day my daughter said something to me.
You're finally
really
allowing
wasn't
yourself to
bad.
feel angry about their behavior. When you're being so nice and helpful and you get complaints and you get unwelcome kinds of statements.
It's funny that you say that because I just came from a meeting before I came to see you. I had a meeting this morning, and I was explaining how one of my colleagues that I work with wanted to use some material that I had presented. And I was shocked that they didn't they were going to present it as if it was theirs, their idea at their training. And I was surprised by that. And I was more than surprised. And I was going to say something to them, but
You were angry.
I was pissed.
Sure.
Yeah. And instead of saying something to them right away, because I thought, oh, I'm really a little loose-lipped at these times, say something I'll regret, I waited till later. And in retelling this story to my colleague this morning, they said, well, they probably weren't stealing your material. They were complimenting you. They were complimenting you, and that's why they were going to use it. I said, you know, if someone wants to compliment me on my training, compliment me. I can accept that. And then ask me if I'd like to do it with at another venue. To me, there's a difference between a backhanded compliment and someone taking credit or using material that you originated. They didn't know about it before you. I'm not saying I'm the designer of, but I was using that material in a particular
and presenting
venue.
it as their own, and that's really wrong.
Right.
You know, when I read something that is extremely helpful to me in my work, and I tell someone about that, I always reference the person that I read it from.
Right. And if I would do that too, sometimes I don't remember who I read it from. But I don't
but
say,
when you do,
I thought this. I say, I read this somewhere. I wish I could remember.
Right.
You know.
But, you know, I think that, you know, when you have,
why don't other people
when
do
you're
that?
being nice and reasonable and helpful and you get complaints or you get aggression back or you get disregarded for what it is you've done and they're taking credit for, the reasonable emotion is objection. I'm angry about that. Now, what you do with your anger, you sound like you've been very careful about how not to express it, but you also haven't forgotten that you feel that bubbling, that anger inside, which is very important.
Right. I think that's been difficult for me because I think
Feeling it or not
I
expressing it?
Well, both are difficult now. I can't avoid feeling it because I'm feeling it.
Good, because those are your feelings.
But I feel like I'm like easily tweaked. At a meeting yesterday, we're discussing a presentation that we're all going to be giving, and one woman says, well, you've presented a lot, so you don't need to present again. And I'm like, wow, there's a sense of I've presented too much. You know, I heard,
and I want you to shut up.
And I want
not
you to shut up, and now I'm going to present something. And I
That's terrible.
had to really calm myself down. And I said, well, I let it go. And then I said, well, I'd like to present.
You let what go?
I let go my need to attack them.
Oh, okay.
Or confront them in that moment.
Okay.
Because I thought, I'm not going to gain anything.
That's right.
So
But you have to respect your anger.
Yeah. I almost feel like I shouldn't be angry.
You mean
I shouldn't
express it or
personalize
feel it?
Well,
You shouldn't express your anger or you shouldn't
they're
feel your
certainly
anger?
not expressing themselves directly. They're being very passive aggressive.
Yeah, but it's aggressive. You don't even do that, do you?
I figure I've done a really great job training, so if they want to compliment me so much that they want to use the material elsewhere, then where's the respect for? So I said, well, I'd like to do a little piece as a clinician, right? And I said, I'd like to talk a little bit about the difference between one phase of practice and another. So the other person says to me, oh, I'm going to do that. That's exactly what I was going to talk about. And I'm sure I'll do a very good job on it.
And just swatted you down.
I wasn't saying she wouldn't do a good job.
No.
I was clarifying the small piece that I wanted to do, which she had not verbalized was going to be the context of her work. So afterwards, we were asked all to send in our ideas. So we could do it on a video or a conference call or something, so we didn't have to meet again until after we all saw. So I said, oh, okay, well, you know what? Since there's a concern that I might be stepping on your toes, you send me all what you're doing first, and I will design my exercise versus my lecture based on what you're doing. She goes, well, I'll just send you the part that you wanted to know about. I said, no, I think our chairperson wants you to send us everything
Right.
for review.
Right. Good for you. See, that's asserting yourself. That's not reaching up and throwing a hot tomato at her, you know.
So
That's-
now I'm not going to design anything till I see exactly what
Right,
she's
she sends
doing,
you,
and
right.
I'll make sure that I don't cover or generate any problems.
Right. Well, you know, the problem
That was nasty in
Yeah.
my world.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I'll do a very good job on that. You don't have to worry
yeah,
about
she might as
that.
well smacked you in the eye and pushed you down. Because that's essentially what her words did. I'll do a good job and you won't. You know?
Was I saying you weren't going to do a good job?
No, she's, you know, she's probably saying that to herself in some place in her mind. And in order not to hear it, she is saying the opposite. I'll do a very good job and much better than you. And so when we are putting ourselves down, we tend to not want to feel that criticism of ourselves.
What do you mean?
Well, we imagine up who we should be. And when we see someone who does a good job, we get nervous because it's like she does a better job than me. And then if I did a perfect job, she wouldn't be better than me. And so I'm going to like hate myself. So instead of hating myself, I'm going to say, oh, I do a very good job. I'm going to talk about my perfect little job I'm going to do. And therefore I'm saying who I should be, but I'm really afraid that my stuff isn't as good as yours.
Wow.
And that's
That did not occur to me in that moment.
you know why it doesn't occur to you? That's how the mind works. You know, as a therapist, right?
Yes.
You're a therapist.
Yes.
But we learn different things in therapy, and some of the things that we learn are not necessarily taught in where we're learning it from, or we
Okay.
don't pick it up. So we pick it up because you're a curious person. You're looking into the issues that bother you because you continue to grow. Well,
What other option do I have? It's like, this is really annoying.
you don't want to be like them and go slamming people.
Well, I don't want. I
But you
really
don't
only
wanna
wanna
be-
do work I want to do.
That's right.
But in order to do some of the things I want to do, I have to participate in some
Social
networking.
area networking. Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is sometimes we don't have a choice when it's a group, a formed group, as to the individuals we have to network with. I like to network with people I trust.
Well, I do
that
too, but
appreciate
sometimes
me and
you
I
don't know
appreciate
them.
them.
Sometimes you have to find out who
right.
those people are
Or form your own group.
and form your own group. And in a way, that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm
Good.
assessing who people are before I enter into a actual project with them.
With them, because then you're working with your selected people that you like and that are fair-minded as you are.
That's correct.
And then you're working with similar people and you don't get into this stuff.
No, I don't mind when someone has an opinion, and I love learning about other people's perspectives.
Yeah,
Like
we
you
grow
just
from
shared
one another.
something with me that it would never occur to me, in that moment. I felt the SWAT, believe me. I felt like the hand
I could hear it when you
across
told me.
my face. And I'm not even sure her tone was as bad as I'm hearing it.
But that's what you heard, because that's what she said. And that comes from a place she doesn't even know exists inside her head. She doesn't, because it's unconscious. 90% of your mind is unconscious. 10% is conscious. And the speed is, Candace Pert, in her book Molecules of Emotion, in her movie What the Bleep Do We Know?
Talked about that.
She had two quantum physicists calculate the speed of the unconscious mind in processing information. Everything you've ever seen, smelled, tasted in your whole life is in your 90% of your brain unconscious. It's 400 million synapses a second, which is the gap between the neurons, as you know. And the conscious mind only processes at 12 to 14,000.
Amazing.
So people don't know that. So I tell them all the time, and if you're going to use this, please use it. I tell them because I say to them, listen, what was the first doll you ever had? What was your doll?
Well, that's a sad story, Doctor.
Okay, what
I
happened to
didn't
the
get
doll?
I never got any dolls.
You never got, what toy did you have? What was the first toy?
I really didn't get many.
What was your color of your blanket when you were a kid?
Yeah, I really don't remember. I really think that I remember that there wasn't anything,
Okay.
if you will.
Okay.
And I hadn't thought about that in a really long time.
Okay,
But I
however-
can remember that there was nothing.
Okay, but that thought came up when I asked you
Yes.
in 20 seconds
Right.
that there wasn't much of anything.
That's right. But I do remember when you ask me what I do remember, and I'm looking for something fond, I'm remembering right now, you know, the apple tree in the back and the
Okay.
warm pies
Did you just
my
see a
mom
picture
used
of
to
it?
make. Yes, I see it very
When's the
clearly.
last time you thought of the apple tree?
Oh my God. a
That's
long time
400
ago.
million synapses a second is a search.
It's amazing.
And when I found a way, a couple of years ago, I found a way to prove it to people from their experience, not because I'm saying it.
Right.
And then we can apply that because people are doing this all the time.
Gosh, I just heard something fall.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm so
I don't know what
sorry.
it was.
But as long as nothing bad happens,
It's nothing.
we'll just
It's
keep
nothing bad,
going.
right? Okay.
Scared me. Sorry. Must
That's
have been
okay.
a search of my mind.
The search in your mind, right? But the fact is, our brain, people, they're just not told that. You know, that's why I do a lot of different things to
Right.
educate people about that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and so don't worry
Well, that's a
about it.
very, very good analogy.
And you use that because I'm not going to get to all the people in the world. You're going to meet people that I don't know. So you go and use that, please.
Right.
And give Candace Pert some
Credit.
for it because
Even
I
though
learned
I
it
don't
from
know
her.
her, but I learned it from you, and I can give her credit.
Yeah.
But why is it that people don't give credit to others and have to take credit for everything for themselves?
Because in their imagination, when they're little and powerless, they have to be everything. And if they were everything, Mommy and Daddy wouldn't get divorced, Daddy wouldn't have gotten sick, they would have made everybody love them. And so they imagine up a self, then it goes into their unconscious and it beats them to death.
So sad. But I have to find a way to express it, confront. See, my first thought is, God, I can't believe they're saying that. But my thinking that in my head doesn't act as a boundary setting. I mean, I have to be able to hear what they said, not believe that they're saying it,
Okay.
and then understand that they did say it, and some response from me is required that's appropriate. Otherwise, people are going to take advantage of me by not setting that boundary.
Well, you can, when you check that you're not doing something to yourself on the inside,
Right.
then you approach what they said, like, I can do a very good job on that speech or whatever that
So
was.
what I said to her was, I'm sure that you will, but since I'm so concerned now that I don't want to interfere with or overlap on your presentation.
Right. You handled that very well.
Did I?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking in my mind, you nuts. Are you
Well,
crazy?
that's what you'd like to
Two of us can't figure out in 10 seconds how to share 7 minutes of talking time.
But you didn't just take what she said and shut up.
No, I didn't.
No. You came up
I
with
wanted
something.
to.
And in a very
I
positive affirmation of, I'm sure you'll do a good job. However, and then you gave her a larger picture. She doesn't even know why she has this attitude. She's just running away from her own insecurities. If she got to toot your
And
own
she's
horn
so
that much.
busy, and she doesn't know if she can be on the board next year, and she doesn't want to take on too much because she's doing all of this work at a corporation.
She's a very important person.
Oh my goodness!
You know what? We all
But she
live
doesn't
in
know how to share 7 minutes.
yeah. Well, you know,
I'll take 1. You get 6.
you know what? After a while, when you start to hear the pride invested in this infinite, imaginary, endless, omnipotent self that we don't even know we built as a kid, but is running our mouth. When you start hearing that in a person, whether they're a perfect pleaser or a perfect, brilliant person who's so successful or whatever the particular type of thing is, you will hear that. And as you hear that, you'll be able to realize where it's coming from. Number one, you're not going to feel threatened by it. And number two, you'll be able to know exactly how, actually, you instinctively said, I'm sure you'll do a very good job, which is supporting her pride. However, it's also putting in some other things.
Right.
And I think that was a very good choice to do. But you didn't go into a rage, and you didn't go into a put-down competition thing or anything like that. It was a very good...
I felt like it, though, I'll tell you.
Well,
I wanted to say,
I know
"Are
you felt
kidding
angry,
me?"
yeah.
And then they bring up how they want to bring in this person to do some kind of training to our group and pay them money. When I did the training, they didn't want to comp me the breakfast.
Oh my God. I don't know the group you're working with, but God bless
Oh,
you.
it's difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult, and I have to extricate myself from working groups where the known...
People run the show,
Right.
and they don't appreciate a good person like yourself. You have to get together with a different group of
Well,
people.
I can
Cut certain people out.
just cut certain people
Yeah.
out.
Cut the people that you don't feel comfortable without. And when you get that feeling about a person, they obviously have some kind of a superiority problem. And everybody knows different things and are good at different things. Nobody's everything. Nobody. Nobody on earth is everything. An engineer is not a cosmetic makeup artist. A cosmetic makeup artist is not an accountant. So we all know different things, and we're all good at different things, but nobody is everything except in the imagination. Everyone's God.
Yeah, I mean, how could you possibly study everything? It almost is like, seems odd to consider.
Well, in your
that.
imagination, you can imagine that you know everything in the world. Anybody says anything, you correct them, even if you know or if you don't.
Well, I do not want to be the person who's putting other people down for no reason.
No, it's not your style.
Challenging other people for no reason. I also don't want to be the person who feels
Put
that-
down.
I don't
And
think I
then
should let that go unresponded to.
No, number one, you're not helping that other person, and you're not helping yourself.
How's that? I don't understand.
Well, the other person is going to, I wanted to say piss off, and I will. The other person is going to piss off an awful lot of people, and she's not going to be chosen to be around for a while, because her
a lot of
pride's
those
going to...
people are in very, very high positions of authority within organizations, I find.
Yeah, but
I mean,
you
you
know,
don't just find this.
well, those people are not the kind of high position people I'd like to work for.
Right, that's what I'm learning.
And I got a choice of
Yes,
who I
I
work
do.
with and who I don't.
Yes, and
And
how
so do
much
you.
I can be a member of a group at a very marginal level and not invest tremendous amounts of effort and time.
You know, when you work with a person who is ethical and fair and not ideated and perfect, when you work with a person that is like that, it's a pleasure.
Excuse me, do you know what time it is? Do we have any more time left?
Yeah, we have about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious because I know you're busy and I was a little late today.
No,
Sorry.
that's okay. But when you work with people with your own ethic, with your own ethical respect for other people, and respect for yourself, it's a joy.
But the problem for me is that if I say that I have good ethics,
Mhm.
who am I to judge other people's?
Because you have good ethics, you're judging from a good ethical standard when people sound
They
like
could argue with
like
me.
an arrogant person.
Person.
Yeah, when you know, maybe arrogant people think together and they sit there and compete as to what kind of expensive car they have or something. You
Right.
know,
I just think that'd
mean,
be a waste of time.
and they compare shoes or
I
something.
just want to do the work that I enjoy doing.
That's right.
And any organization
With people you
I-
enjoy being with and
That's
working
correct.
with.
so that if I can do the work I enjoy doing by being a member of this group or taking on a leadership position in a
And not
group
taking their attitude personally.
and not taking it personally, that's fine. I'm not going to become a hermit
No.
and not do anything. I mean, that you can't. I
Because
just,
if someone walked in the room right now and say, I'm the king of Siam,
right.
I would say to myself, that doesn't put me down. And I would say, okay, so what? You're mortal. We all live, we all die. I mean, the fact is, you're mortal. So he's the king of Siam. It tells me something about him, that's who he is. It's not, hi, I'm Joe. This is my executive position. I want you to admire me as a big macha, you know, big person.
Right.
The fact is, it doesn't bother me because I know they're operating out of a myth. So why am I going to feel put down from a myth, unless I've got a myth? If I were good enough, they wouldn't be like that. I don't have any power over that. So listen, we'll see you next week. You're a very intelligent and very nice person. If I chose to work with someone, I would probably choose to work with you.
You're seeing me on a better day.
We all
I
have
have
feelings.
my moments.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I
You-
will use this
See you next
during
week.
the week. Take care.
Okay, thank you very much, Regina.
Goodbye.
And now I'd like to thank Regina, but that's not Regina. That is Susan Friedman, psychotherapist.
Thank you.
And you are
That's
a
fine.
wonderful, wonderful partner on this show for
Thank
many
you.
years, and you're a wonderful therapist. Where is your practice?
In Bridgewater, New Jersey.
Okay, Susan Friedman.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing another show. I really appreciate it very much.
You're welcome.
Couldn't get a better person. Take care. I want to thank you very much for watching and saying hello and bopping around town. I just want to say if you want to see the show, or if others who don't see it on cable, they can see it on YouTube under drjennyklein.com. And just search for it under that. And if you have ideas for a show, we'd love to hear from you. So just give me a call. The credits are right there, number's right there. And just take real good care of yourself and just keep looking through the looking glass. Bye-bye.
Dr. Jenny Klein would love to hear from you. Email her, jennyklein@gmail.com, or give her a call at 908-722-2933. If you'd like to see more, feel free, just go to drjennyklein.com.